One of the greatest uses of technology is when you can actually change a person's life. And when I read about Marcus and Alysha Schmidt and how diabetes could have maybe made Marcus not play basketball anymore, I just knew that we had to talk to them. So joining us here on the Kim Komando Show is Marcus and Alysha Schmidt from Mesa, Arizona. Hey, welcome. Boy, I'll tell you, Marcus, you're a good-looking guy.
Hi.
You take after your mother, I see.
Little bit.
Absolutely. So, Mom, tell me what happened.
Well, we went on our annual family camping trip. He seemed to start off okay, and then all of a sudden he just kind of started declining. He was having symptoms of the flu, and luckily my mom was out there. Mom's always saved the day. She told us, keep an eye on him because the way he was acting, he was definitely showing signs that she knew were related to being type 1. Took a huge turn for the worse and completely started crashing on us. We got to the ER and his sugars were in the 600s.
Wow.
And he definitely was type 1. We had a nice week in the hospital and learned that he was going to have a new type of normal. And now we just conquer it, and it's a day-to-day that he doesn't ever do it alone.
Before the camping trip and the family reunion, was Marcus showing any signs of not feeling well?
He was, but it was more just like flu-like symptoms. He was kind of sleepy, lethargic. He did start losing a little bit of weight, but when you look back, it all seems like type symptoms that you would have if you had the flu.
And so you took him to the ER. His blood sugar level was 600, and normal is 140. Is that correct?
Yeah, for like an adult, it's like about 80 to 100. For kids, they like to have them run between 100 and 140 just because they're more active. And his was 648 when we got there. So he was going into diabetic ketoacidosis at that time.
Wow. Well, thank goodness for grandma, right?
Right.
Absolutely. Okay. And so this became Marcus's new normal. And what does it include?
For Marcus, he never has a day off. It's 24/7, no matter what he's doing, anything he eats or drinks. He has to check nutrition labels, anything with sugar or carbs. He has to make sure he's administering the right amount of insulin. He has his math equations that he knows if he eats a certain amount of carbs, he has a certain amount of insulin he has to do. He has recently gone on his pump, which makes things a lot easier because his pump does talk with his Dexcom and lets him know at all times what his sugars are at. So when he's at school, he's not having to poke himself with a meter. He can just look at his Dexcom, say, this is what my sugar is, and he can put in his pump what he's eating. But in his lunch, he has to have carb counts on everything. And he adds everything together, puts it in his pump, and he just has to make sure anything he doses for, he eats.
Wow. And so can you show us what the Dexcom looks like?
So this is his little Dexcom.
Okay.
It is his sensor. This is the little transmitter that goes in. And that works via Bluetooth. So it talks to my phone, his phone, my husband, and my daughter's. It communicates with our watches and, most of all, his pump.
Everything's all now controlled via an app?
For his Dexcom, yeah. We see everything, especially now that he's going to be going back to school. We're able to keep an eye on it. His teachers at school, the nurse, they can all follow him, and they can see, like, when he's starting to drop. If he starts going, like, once he hits 70, we get him a snack. Depending on what he's doing, it just depends on what type of snack. If he's really low, we always resort to those fast-acting sugars, Starburst, Skittles, anything that'll help get those sugars up so that he doesn't pass out.
Well, I'll tell you, that must give you, as his mom, like total peace of mind, right?
It does, because before, when we first came home from the hospital, it was like having a newborn all over again. My husband and myself, we took turns around the clock every hour and a half. We're in there pricking his poor fingers, testing his sugars, because he would tend to drop low at night. So before the Dexcom, it was scary because sometimes we'd test him and he'd be testing in the 40s. And at that point, some people are already having seizures or already, at that danger zone. And we've watched him get pretty low. So having that Dexcom helps us prevent from getting super, super low.
So, Marcus, let me ask you a question. What do you like to do for fun?
Sports.
And what kind of sports do you play?
Basketball and baseball.
And which sport are you best at?
Basketball.
Basketball? Basketball? Well, you know what? That's pretty awesome. So now with this Dexcom, you can still play basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Mom, if you had to give a piece of advice to other folks who are listening, what might it be?
It would definitely be, Dexcom is definitely well worth the investment.
How much is it?
For us, we have pretty good insurance. I believe, like, to start out, like you do, they do them in like 3-month increments. So that way, if you do, for some reason, because, you know, like all technology, things fail at times. So there will be times where we might have a sensor fail before we do the warm up. But we looked into a lot of different continuous glucose monitors before we started. And Dexcom was by far the best. When you first started, it has a 2-hour warm up, and then it pulls readings every 5 minutes. A lot of the other glucose meters we looked at had like a 12-hour warm-up or a 2-day warm-up before you could get readings, and they were not nearly as accurate. Dexcom would definitely have probably the best customer service. Anytime we've had any issues with any transmitter issues, sensor failures, we call, we get through, and if they can't fix it or troubleshoot over the phone, they overnight us a new one. So we are never without numbers. But with this disease, you can never plan ahead. You just got to take it day by day. He could do the exact same things every day, eat the exact same things, and one day have steady numbers, and one day he could tend to run super high. So you just got to take it day at a time, and every day is different.
Well, it really shows the power of technology and changing people's lives. Alysha and Marcus, thanks for joining us here on the Kim Komando Show. What an inspiration you are, and keep playing that basketball, okay? You got it. And you see, folks, this is an example of technology that I just love. I mean, here you have a little boy who would have been pricking himself, and his mom and dad all worried about them. But because of technology, those days are long gone. And if you have a story that you'd like to share with us, just over to the website, komando.com, and drop me a note. There's a link right at the bottom that says Contact Us. Hey, thanks for watching. Now, a few things. Don't forget to click the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And for more digital know-how, check out all these other great links.